I'm so mad. I am so mad. I am so mad. I am so mad. I just gave you 4 different I am so mads, and I am legitimately mad, but you saw it in 4 different expressions. Give people the room and the space to share in their way of sharing.
Everybody.
Hey, what's up?
We're just doing something special today, so we just popped on to have a day of hope. So just wait for a few people to come on in.
Well, we're just waiting for Major.
That's right, Major. Major came out with a really powerful, I guess we call it a spoken word or project.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah,
Hi, Cordell. Hi, everybody. Yeah, we just decided to do a surprise call-in today because we're having a day of hope with Major. I'm really excited about it. He's got a new project coming today. How are y'all doing? Everybody doing good? It's raining here in LA. And today, oh my gosh, who else we got here? Wooden, Speed, and I'm thanking you guys for joining us today. Sapphire, thank you. How are you doing, everybody? It's a kind of a gloomy day in LA, but
that's why we need a hope edition.
We need a hope edition today for sure, because it is a little bit on the side of it's not sunny California like it usually is. So we're just here, just saying hi to everybody.
Yeah. But I think if anybody's watching, even at the stadium, they're on hope.
We're near the SoFi Stadium, is what Claude is talking about. Hi, Therese. How are you doing? Madison, thank you for joining us. You guys, we appreciate it. Keeping it real. How you doing? Oh gosh, we're gonna see if we can get people to join us. But it's a nice Monday. It's one of those days you want to stay huddled up. Thank you for the happy Monday.
That's right.
I don't know who that came from yet, but we're gonna. Happy Monday came from PK Vision Leadership.
I might want to tell people about the YouTube subscription.
Oh yeah, you guys, guess what? Too, you can see all of our shows that we have on Thursday, our Carfitable Talks, on YouTube. Please join. Please subscribe. We really do need your support. So that'll be good. We've got stills by.
Well, on YouTube,
Music Man.
What's the handle?
There he is.
Oh my God.
What's happening, family?
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
honey,
It's a weird day.
Yeah, we need a day of hope today, okay?
It's a weird day, but hope is yet still alive.
I need some hope right now.
We've got a lively hope.
Bro, listen. I don't know what this day did, but it certainly was mad goofy, from Instagram to Facebook to Messenger and Twitter holding strong.
We're going to be able to come on for a few minutes there.
Yeah.
To the wire. But wire for a really good cause. We're here with the Hope Dealer, y'all.
Listen.
Dealer himself.
Listen. I am honored to be here. It is Hope Week on my end, and I'm encouraging everybody to embrace it. I'll start it off with this. Hope is not the denial of reality.
Come on.
But it's the commitment to believe greater is on the other side of it.
Amen.
I'll say it again, because I know it's gonna hit some people. Hope is not the denial of reality. It is not the denial of your circumstances, not pretending you're not struggling, not pretending you're not frustrated, not pretending situations don't make you upset or throw you off. but it's your commitment, your choosing to commit to the belief that greater, that a way out is on the other side of this thing, and it delivers every time.
Amen. And you know what? I do think people, if they can really hear the gist of what you're saying, because sometimes we do pretend.
Easy.
Sometimes we're not really getting hope inside of us. We're just talking. I've done it. And
we throw it. Listen, the pandemic shook me different, because what it did was it made me sit with my circumstances, and it made me look at them and evaluate them completely, and to see how I'm contributing or what is pouring back into me, and what needs to shift in order to make my circumstances align with that which I believe. And oftentimes we do throw around that hope word like it's some fluffy cliche, but hope is way more powerful than we give it credit for.
Well, sometimes we live in a fake world, you know. I mean, everything, and being here in LA, you know, you're saying things a lot of times that you don't even.
They say that fake it till you make it, but while I understand what the sentiment is encouraging people to do, because at the end of the day, hope conversation, your language can shift your circumstance. Your language can shift your condition. It really happens. It really is scientifically proven. Right. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
But you got to be honest with yourself about what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you have to say, okay, I'm going to just speak out here that it's going to be a great day.
Yes.
It's going to be a great day. I don't care what the weather looks like. I'm going to have a great day.
And what makes me decide that because the weather isn't the way I want it, that it can't be a good day, that it isn't a good day, because we've been conditioned by social constructs to embrace what they deem qualifies this or that. And at the end of the day, hope, joy, when they say black boy joy and black girl joy and all that stuff, it's a radical act to be able to choose to have joy in the midst of circumstances that aren't truly delivering you that joyous situation.
Well, let's do that.
I just want to touch on that. You know, it's hard to have joy in a situation if you're not anchored with some hope.
That's it. You can't have faith without hope, because faith is a substance of things hoped for.
Right.
You know, and many times we try to separate it. We leave hope over there as this little fluffy cotton candy thing that we'll get later. But hope is literally an anchor. It keeps you steadfast in the midst of a storm, in the midst of the good and the bad, storm or sunshine.
Right.
But let's put this all together now.
Yeah.
we just got into the conversation.
And and it's already good.
And we've been listening to this brand new project you've got coming out. That's why we're here today.
Yes.
And this Grammy nominated, This Is Why I Love You, just went gold. I mean, you've got all these fans.
We almost platinum, Miss Vicki. We almost platinum.
Almost platinum.
Speak it, bro. Speak it.
Today is the day, is an important, it's the 5th actually, is the day that we want to talk about, and why we're here today. We're here to talk about what, Major? Why are we here right now?
We're here to talk about Major.Hope.Motivations. That's my new latest offering. It's a meditative offering. It's an album of spoken expressions with the intent of helping to shift our mindset and our heart posture so that we can reignite the inner champion of every listener. I really believe that if I can help cause people to see the possibilities, they'll start believing them. And we have to understand that many of us, we create some of this the deficits in our space because we see a hopeless situation. We see a situation that's not as glamorous, and we just deem the rest of our circumstance to be hopeless. There's no hope in it.
But
But
let's really
yeah,
break it down. I mean, because we've been talking, you kind of can talk in abstracts, but Major,
yeah,
there is some stuff going on.
oh yeah.
I mean, we're looking in the world today, just in the news. It's so dismal. Every day I see, and I really should stop listening, and I'm going to listen more to your tapes. To crazy.
I'm just trying to help you out. I'm trying to help you out. You're the one that want to listen to CNN and Fox and MSNBC.
And Crazy Karen. I watch Crazy Karen. Help me right now, because I get addicted to, and I think a lot of us do, we get addicted to negative spaces, and then we get on the internet and we want to see people fighting and the celebrities doing whatever they're doing, and people are mad at Nicki Minaj because she doesn't want to do COVID. We talk about COVID every day. How can we balance this out? And I want to talk about your project in depth, because it is beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you have a
Darian Dorsey, my brother that did the music. He's my fellow Berkeley buddy, Berkeley classmate. That's my brother through and through. He's an artist and a producer. I'm super grateful that he collaborated with me on this. I was thinking of going, the guitar route and have some, because I write some of my best stuff to guitar. But when he said, he kept coming to mind, and I was like, yo, let me just talk with Darian. And Darian was like, let's go.
Where Darian live?
He's in LA now. He's originally from Baltimore, but he lives in LA. Yeah. There's a song that Shamael will share with you called A Mother's Love that we co-wrote together. And when you hear that, you gonna feel so appreciated. Listen. Yeah.
Some of the melodies, the production is so well, for those of you guys that are in the music industry too, you'll understand it. The mix and everything is very warm.
Yes.
Very warm and inviting. And I think this is a project that I'm going to use it when I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Good night, my friend. Yeah.
Good night, my friend. And then when I wake up in the morning, because I do,
Yeah.
we have some devotionals that I listen to. I'm an affirmation person.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
I have to do that just to make it through. So let's go through some of this and some of these incredible.
Well, I want to shout out. You talked about the mix. I want to shout out Charles. I call him Chucklin Dixon. He mixed and mastered this project as well. And he mixes like a musician. Like he understands the flow, the ebbs and flow of frequencies and whatnot. And of course I have, an ear, a very critical ear. So, for me, even though this is the most independent venture I've ever done, where it's all my money in every single way and PR and all that stuff. But, in this space of trying to figure out what was next. And while I have my new album that, Harmony Samuels and JV are producing, it's amazing, it's special. But I was in this space right now. And I was like, well, I'll wait until the album comes out. Then I kind of slide it in there. And I heard Holy Spirit say, now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you know that I do all things well, and you understand that this life is a collaboration, trust and believe that I'm going to deliver well on my end of the bargain. I just need you to show up in full. And literally, this project has hit people in different spaces that they weren't expecting. Because they wanted this is why I love you. Yeah, they wanted that. Yeah, they wanted I just want to be honest. They wanted that. but when they hear it, they got that, dear griever,
Yes.
don't apologize for the inconsistency of your emotional release.
Yes.
Don't apologize for breaking down.
Yes.
Yes.
As long as it's not putting yourself or someone else's life in danger,
Yes.
let it flow.
Yes.
Listen, I'm on assignment, yo. I'm on assignment, Doc.
I said to like 10 people.
Yeah.
In
That
the
grief,
midst,
yeah.
when you started that part, I said, oh, I mean,
It hits you.
a bunch of
Yeah.
people, because we just have a friend that she went out of town because her cousin who's 35 just passed away from cancer.
Mhm.
And it was just unexpected, and and so it's like one thing after another. I have too many people who are in a place of grief.
Yeah.
But
And that's what I when you even speak to the grief, because I wanted to really talk back on the hope all the more. But when I spoke on grief, I have a line where I said, grieve and grow.
Yes.
Grieve and grow. A lot of people take grief as a ending point, as a dead end. But because we don't make room for our process, we don't allow room for our growth. When you don't allow the process to do what it's going to do, there's going to be stagnation and interruption that's going to stifle the potential that you have to utilize the lessons that were learned from the legacy that is now your reality. And so it's a hope in all things, a hope in transitions. We grieve so many things. The Latayads, y'all know about grieving the transition of having the number one gospel label in the world for a very long run. And that's even though y'all transitioned from that space and it may have been, okay, on to the next, there's still a grieving that has to take place, that we have to give our emotions space and permission to process through. Otherwise, it's going to show up in the wrong places at the wrong time, and people gonna call you crazy, and you're not even gonna realize until you go to therapy, oh shoot, I never fully grieved that transition.
Right.
You know.
But you know what? I gotta tell you, you have about how many?
It's 8. It's 8 of them. I love 8.
New beginnings.
8 different subjects matters, but my favorite one might be the one on grief, and I'll tell you why I like it so much. You're giving people permission to lay it all out there. But the one thing I don't hear people talk about is this whole thing, I got to express myself. I got to scream and go off, and they're hurting people. They got to learn how to do it in a way.
Yes.
That, because they get so in their emotions, and they're just.
Right. As long as you are not putting yourself or someone else's life in danger or at risk, let it flow.
Right.
Because we still have a responsibility to be responsible in the spaces that we're in. We don't, when it's just because you grieve, it doesn't mean you go and burn yourself. Like, let's be responsible in the space, because your maturity is going to allow the channeling of those emotions to go where they belong and find a new home. Yeah.
Exactly. But you're right. You're right. I mean, that's why, you see so many people right now just flipping out and really hurting other people, and then giving themselves excuses. Well, they did this to me, and I just had enough, and I just went off. And I guess that's kind of what the crazy Karen thing is.
Some people have to learn how to grieve.
There it is. And that's what that's for, to show them but to let them know, honestly, your how is honestly.
It's honestly.
It's honestly. Because sometimes we grieve according to what we've been taught. This is your permit. You can only grieve in this way. And there are ways people grieve by simply writing letters. There's way people grieve by just being able to cry and shout it out. There are ways people grieve by simply taking a long walk. But let people grieve the way they grieve. The church, the South, the institutions in schools, we need to stop putting these parameters on how people grow into spaces and give people room to liberally, organically, and responsibly
With that said,
process.
Dog, all this kind of stuff.
Wait, hold up. Because I'm not mad. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. But if a person gets that out, I'd rather them get it out than to never address it.
Right. As long
and
as
so
they take it out on me.
Right.
I don't want to hear that.
I think what she's saying is that he's over there as a dirty dog. Don't take it out on me.
Don't put it.
But that's when people misplace it. That's because they are not giving themselves full permission to sit with it. And that's why I go to exactly. So it's just going left and right in different places. And you're like, why is that showing up over here? We going swimming. We're at the park. Like, why did that show up here? And
flipping out is different from grieving. And that is
no, it's not. No, it's not. Listen, let me tell you something. You've been, listen, because what ain't gonna happen is me not, because you are probably one of the most eccentric and successful business women we've known. You have flip outs at times when you are emotional. And listen, we know, like Clive Davis, like all of the greats, you flip out too. But the thing is, it's understanding that acknowledge it, feel it, but don't stay there.
Exactly.
Because you do not belong there. Acknowledge it, feel it, but don't stay there. That's depression, that's anxiety, all of these things. A lot of times we deny. That's why I literally said, hope is not the denial of reality. So if my reality is I'm hurting, let me acknowledge the hurt. Don't pretend. The church taught us
I don't want to be your sponge for every time you're hurt.
This is getting personal. This is getting personal.
It is.
It's a real thing.
Because it's real.
Let me see. Go ahead, Mom.
No, I want to hear Shamel. I want to hear you.
I think there is an exercise that we have not been able to have as a community that goes into our families, into our relationship dynamics, where we don't know how to be able to listen to people's hurt and not make it personal.
Right.
Because a lot of the time, and so that's where the conflicts begins, because instead of me listening to your hurt and sympathizing and maybe understanding
and empathizing,
now I'm personal, and now there's a whole back and forth where it's like you're not listening, and so there's a conflict. And I think that's why in the body of Christ we don't know how to have proper grieving structure.
Because we've been taught that we have to understand something.
Yeah.
Jesus weeping was not some behavior that was expected. That was an unexpected emotional response. That's why it's so profound to even know that Jesus, with all power, still wept. Because it is it is a natural response to the it's a natural response to the gravitas of the circumstance. And we have to make room for it no matter how uncomfortable, as long as it does not put you in danger. Because sometimes once a person lets it out, that's all they needed to do was get an opportunity to let it out. Now, repeat offenders, we need to deal with that. But at some point, we need to make room and make it okay for people to shout it out, to decree it out. Why let people shout it out when they're happy and joyous about God if we're not going to let them shout it out when they're grieving and in pain? We read in the Bible that people moaned and grieved and shouted it out. We need to learn as a people, and this is an unlearning that needs to take place because of the enslavement in particular, because our beautiful ancestors, our beautiful folks in the beautiful continent of Africa don't struggle with as much as we do as African Americans, because we've been suppressed. We have not been allowed to both heal and hope at the same time. It's the picking of one or the other. But all the other, the majority, the majority represented cultural groups have the opportunity to heal and hope at the same time. They can feel these things. We've been taught, you keep that tucked away. Don't do all that out here. And it's like, no.
No, and I understand.
Don't let them see you sweat.
Don't let them see.
There's got to be something in between or a way that we really learn. Because I'm telling you, there are people out there that flip out every other day. And I'm like, I was okay with this and I want to be. This is a serious.
So imagine losing. Imagine, have you lost a family member that you literally were the closest to?
Yeah.
Who?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother, and you talk to her every single day and always?
Well, no.
I'm talking about someone.
Like Claude.
Imagine if God said, now it's his time.
Yes.
And your everyday norm.
Yes.
Your everyday norm. I see love. I've been seeing love in y'all from when I was a street team for Gospel Centric. That y'all didn't even know I was a street team. And now, and I see it even in these videos, and I see it in your legacy. I see it in your children. Imagine what you have known for all of your life, for the majority of your life, being changed by an instant. Yeah. And you have to adapt to the new norm. You can't imagine, you can't fathom. So you cannot say what you will not do until that becomes your experience. And that's what I want to get us to. I want us to learn that empathy comes by way of conversation. And in conversation, you get understanding. And out of understanding, you breed empathy. But people judge in good intent. We all judge and hold people accountable according to the limitation of our greatest experience. And we have to learn that that's why God, in his beautiful nature, gets his grace gets to be described as amazing because it has no bounds. So we have to operate as we grow to become more gracious in allowing people the space to be fully themselves, and to also say, hey, I know you're dealing with this. Let me help you deal with this in a way that's going to be healthier to your own well-being. And that's how you inform, not with you better go somewhere with all that because you're doing too much.
Let's be real. Some folks need professional help.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all do. Mr. Clark, what do you want to say? I'm feeling something. You got something. Talk to me.
I've had some experiences with loss but when I look at it, my biggest emotion was anger. And it was anger at people that I thought were responsible.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
My biggest challenge was it goes back to one of the other tracks that you talk about, forgiveness, was part of that was forgiving those people that I thought were responsible for that loss.
Woo!
So that's been my journey.
Whoa! Yo, whoa, I'm getting chills because that's a part. That's so imagine this. If a person, and this is just a hypothetical because you have learned, and you're Haitian, right?
Yes.
My Haitians remind me of folks from Ghana, some of the most humble human beings you will ever meet. Their temperament is, hey, let's bring it down. The women can be little firecrackers, but the men are more the men are more humble in how we express, right? And so one of the things that I want people to understand is because it can come from you, your anger can be displayed in a way. I'll show you this. I'll make it simple. I'm an actor. I'm angry right now. Here. I'm so mad. I am so mad. I am so mad. I am so mad. I just gave you 4 different I am so mads, and I am legitimately mad, but you saw it in 4 different expressions. Give people the room and the space to share in their way of sharing. As long as it's authentic, God can use it.
Right.
In spirit and in truth, Miss Vicki. Miss Vicki, come on now. In spirit and in truth. The Bible even gives us permission. And it says, be angry, but sin not.
But sin not. But sin not.
That's why
Look at Keandra. Look at Keandra. See?
that's why I had to stay away from those folks.
Yeah.
I had to stay away till I got it together. I couldn't fellowship.
Right, that's the thing.
That's good. That's not bad.
I'm just saying, and it's interesting. I would tell people I'm mad. I would tell people, I'm mad at them, and I would until I finally, people got tired of me saying,
you need to do something.
Get it together.
Right.
Yeah,
And they probably didn't even believe how mad you were.
Yeah, I had to process it out. But then I said, you know what? I forgive him, but
There's hope. You heard what I said at the beginning of forgiveness. Yeah. I said forgiveness is release.
Yes.
Not permission.
Yeah. Right. Or forgetting.
I said it's forgiveness is release, not permission. I'm not forgiving you to let you know you can just do this again or do this however you did it before. I'm releasing the hold of my emotional bondage that's attached to this offense. And so, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying that's a very hard balance. I personally can't always tell the difference between the release and me and the permission for you not to do it again, because sometimes my kindness to just move forward then puts me right back in the same cycle.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If 2 plus 3 equals 5, and you keep showing up as 2, and you're expecting 3 to show up differently, but they're showing up as 3, you're going to always get 5. So one of the variables has to change. And because we don't have the power to change other people, we have to change ourselves in the equation. So and I run into the same thing because I'm super forgiving, but I had to remind myself it is release, not permission. So with that, I now have to establish new boundaries. So now that 3 can't go just jumping in the yard of 2 anytime they want. They have to knock, and I have to decide by looking at my ring monitor to see if I'm gonna let them in. Nah, I'm good. I'll see you tomorrow. So you change the variables, the equation changes, you get an outcome that is different from what you used to experience.
They need to come in as a fool.
Yeah, I'm just the other way. I have to work hard at forgiving.
Woo! I can tell. We already talked about grief.
I'm just telling the truth. And I think that's part of it, to acknowledge that, you know what? This is how I can be, and I don't want to be like this.
Yeah.
I want to be like what God says. So what do I have to do to get more like that? And that's one reason I like your new project, because it can remind you in a way that's real,
Right.
that you can really, and that's why I have to do morning affirmations, and I have to tell myself many times, no, Vicki, you forgive that person. I forgive that person. I love them. I forgive them. I do have to say that when I don't feel it.
Right. You have to, but listen, that's why when Bible says to take up your cross daily, crucify your flesh daily, that's what this thing is. It's a process. We don't give room for the process. You need to give yourself grace for the process of reconditioning yourself to be more gracious in your forgiveness, but understanding forgiveness does not come with stupidity. You ain't stupid. So it's like, we're not saying I forgive you because I'm gullible and dumb. I'm forgiving you because I'm not giving you the power. There is no way I'm going to give you the power over my mental stability, my emotional well-being. I can't do that any longer. And so for me, I have to take it one day at a time and realize that the fault has already been had. It's already happened.
It's already happened.
The lack of forgiveness relives the fault every time.
Yeah.
That's true.
It literally regurgitates it, just like when Bible says, like a dog returning to its vomit.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that's some nasty stuff that a dog literally eats its vomit. But imagine you going to crustacean, and that's what they gave you instead of the crab.
I love you for the.
Have you guys tasted crustaceans?
I love crustaceans.
Guess what?
Keandre, it's Keandre said Pastor Major, everyone.
But I was wondering, do you think you're going to start going that way? What made you?
Listen.
They're calling there.
Listen, I told my mom at 3 years old, an international superstar and a pastor. I think God is interestingly unfolding it in a way that is unorthodox, but I've lived this way all my life. They call me a hope dealer. I don't need the title pastor to move in the assignment. I don't need the title to move in the assignment, but I think what's happening, and I think it's a strategic move of God, is that he's utilizing me in these mainstream spaces to be able to have these conversations with everybody of all walks of life. I meet them at this intersection called humanity of differences, and they realize, oh, we actually do speak the same language.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah.
I think you need a workbook to go with this.
Oh, I have. We got a whole. Let me tell you, we got a whole thing coming. We got to pray for me. I'm trying to get these donors and stuff together, these investors, because I have Major.Hope pep talks where I talk people through their workday on the big presentation or interviews and all that different stuff, and talk about fear. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I submitted it to Grammy, so if y'all are voting members, make sure you go to Spoken Word and go to the Spoken Word division and vote for your boy, you know.
Somebody saying, come on, workbook.
I wanted to say one of the things, that at least for, some of the tracks when I listen to, they it's like a tool for reflection.
There it is. It's meditative. Yes.
Self reflection, so in terms of how does this thing apply to me?
Yeah.
That's what I want for more than anything, and that's why it's a perfect a perfect moment of recap is, remember I said in the equation, the only power to change is the change of ourselves. We can't change anyone else. I want to help people course correct how we enter circumstances just so defeated, thinking, oh, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. Okay, so what are you going to do different to change that reality for yourself? And so when we do self-reflection helps us to better qualify ourselves. Do I need to be in this space, or do I need to reevaluate and reposition the people in this space? It's I just want us to take accountability for ourselves, because there's a beauty and there's untapped treasure there. It's untapped treasure. You gonna watch, Miss Vicki, this time next year. Actually, I'm gonna give it half a year. You gonna start forgiving people, and it's gonna trip you out. You're gonna be like, I don't know how I was able to let it go. How did I let it go?
I'm at a pretty good point now.
You're gonna get better.
It takes a lot of learning, but you know what? There's a thing you did on "You Are Worthy," and you just say you're worthy.
Yes.
Shamel, that was yours.
Yes, you know, I listened to it. I was like, oh, you know, to separate my mind, and I had to like do a self-talk, is I'm used to hearing that repeat when I worship. For
Exactly. Come on. Go there.
I had to really do a deep pivot in my acknowledgement of who God made me. In that moment I was worshiping, and knowing that I was worthy enough to be appreciated in this space. And then I started thinking of all the times where, like, it made me think on how I had diminished. And so
yes, because we magnify God. But if we deny our flesh, we then operate in full spirit. We should understand that magnification includes us. It includes what he made. It includes every essence of creation's hands and the creator's hands. And honestly, it's so crazy, because I grew up, I'm a church boy. I grew up, remember they used to call me choir boy. I grew up always saying, you are worthy, oh God, you are worthy, you are worthy. And God saying, so are you saying that what I did in you is not worthy?
We think of ourselves, we say we're worms.
Yeah.
We say, oh, I'm a wretched worm.
Yeah.
I do that. Oh God, you're worthy, but I'm nothing.
Yeah, I'm nothing. But it's ideology that has been handed down by unfinished learning.
come on.
It's an unfinished learning of the people that came before us. Whoa, this is a God moment, y'all, because stuff is dropping. That's all God. That's all God. But listen. It's unfinished learning that has been passed down to us. Our grandparents telling us, be humble, don't speak, don't say nothing. And we don't realize that that's never been humility. That's not true humility. That's not true humility. To hide the greatness that God has developed in and through you, that ain't never been humility. Humility is understanding that in all of this greatness, that there's still room for greater. There's still room for more. That you are not the end all be all, that God can use you and them too. And so in this, I really wanted, literally, it's a course correction of how we approach these things. We are worthy, and grace is called amazing because of that very reality. Because grace redeems, and grace restores, and grace pays the cost. That's what this thing is. We are worthy. My song, Honest, that got me my first Grammy nomination, I swore it was going to be Why I Love You. But Honest literally speaks to us taking full accountability for all that we are, as John Legend said, our perfect imperfections, understanding that that is enough and that is usable by God. Nothing is wasted.
Amen. I have another question, and it's about hope, and we kind of touched on it at the beginning. And because I saw Pastor Mike Todd pop on, he did a sermon this weekend on the difference between imagination as we hope and fantasy as we hope. And so my question to you is, can we talk about the difference as we're in this posture of hope, how we really have our minds to hope properly and stay God-centered instead of hoping for things that are really fantasy, but we haven't really renewed our minds right to be in the right space. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I get it. It's you. Who was that talked about it?
Pastor Mike Todd from Transformation.
Such a brilliant man of God. With that, I believe that we grow into greater understanding daily.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to give ourselves, not just each other, but ourselves the room to grow into knowing what to hope for and what to long for. Because the ultimate hope is knowing that we are kept and that there's always a victory in every circumstance. But when it starts getting specific to desires and things that we want, we sometimes merge the two, and because we are not delivered the very thing that we thought we saw, or we generated a liking for, we start to think that hope failed us. But hope is not, wow, God, I'm telling you, I'm just flowing, and I love God so much. But I think that one of the things that we have to realize is that there's people that are new to Christ, and there are people that are old to Christ that still have a lot of growing and undoing to do. And even as I am newly married 1 year in, I realize that many of the things that I thought that I absolutely wanted were not necessarily the things that I ultimately wanted or needed. Right. And so as we grow in God, that's why it says delight yourself in him, because he will give you the desires of your heart. Not only will he make manifest the things you long for, but he will show you what to desire. So when I get a Grammy nomination and I realize, oh, this is what it feels like, it's not exactly what I thought. I love the title. Oh, I'm repped by ICM. Right. Oh, this is what it feels like. Oh, they not as perfect either. And so you start realizing, wait a minute, as I grow in God, I'm not hoping for that. I'm hoping to be fully where God intends for me to be, that I may prosper in all things I put my heart and mind to.
Right. I mean, because Major, think about the women who want to be married.
Yeah.
Want to have children.
Don't rush it.
Want to have a record deal, want to have this, want to have that, their whole lives. And it does not happen for them that way. And I remember how people say, well, that's because of a lack of faith. But a lot of times it's just, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't happen.
Well, I think with that, as you grow in God, as you grow in God daily, one day at a time, stop. We think hoping is writing it. The write the vision, make it plain is the handing off to God. It's the God, here is what it is. And he's like, oh, let me show you what I got. And it's better than that. Because if you grow in God, God will position your heart to be able to endure whatever he allows. and whatever he delivers to you. And so, yes, I think it's a beautiful thing to hope and to long and to desire for family and all these things. But sometimes, because we're hoping specifically according to only what we think it should look like, we miss the opportunities to get what God is trying to deliver to meet the very request. And so I learned that in industry because I went to Berkeley. I went to Berklee College of Music. Before Berkeley, I did an intensive at Juilliard. Before there, Houston Grand Opera, the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. I was supposed to be signed to a major label. And if it wasn't, it was supposed to be gospel-centric. Gospel-centric was going to sign me. I said it. That was what it, listen, gospel-centric was supposed to sign me. And that's how I saw it, because I believe that that's how it's supposed to go. But then I'm living a life where God is delivering to me more than that which I even thought or imagined. And it's still good. It's really good. Hope serves as an anchor, not to give you exactly what you want, but to give you what you need and show you this is good. You're going to want this now. And that's what, am I talking right, Mr. Clark? Bishop, am I talking right?
You know, I want to, a thing that I really,
I'm moving this over. Go ahead.
Is the difference, the Bible talks about a lively hope. And that, to me, means that, some hopes aren't lively. And, but other hopes are lively. In other words,
are they dead hopes?
Yeah, what do you mean when you say lively?
A lively hope means that the opportunity is fresh and alive. It's there. And
well, I think, well, with that, I think perhaps lively hope is the thing you are feeding, because it means to live. Because oftentimes I can't stand hoarders, and I got a few of them in my family. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna point some of them out. Listen, and how many times have we gotten things that we want and we just throw them in a room, and it's like, oh, I think I got to, so we go and buy new shoes when we have new shoes, unused or unworn shoes in the closet somewhere in that other room. And I think there's a lot of people that just collect a bunch of hopes and toss them around, but don't do any nurturing.
Wow.
They don't feed it.
That's right.
And that, I think that's what could possibly mean with hope. I can afford to do more study on that, but I think that that's what we've been called to. You have to feed your hope. When Jesse Jackson, I don't care what anybody say about that man, that dude's been consistent with that keep hope alive, because that's what it's about.
Right. Just, there's two ways that I like that in terms of nurturing it. The other thing is certain hopes are lively. That's, because
help me out.
From the biblical perspective, the hope we have in Christ is a lively hope.
Oh, of course, because Christ is forever. Christ is living.
Right.
Holy Spirit.
The point is, it's a hope it's a lively hope because it's a good hope. There's a lot of times we don't pick the right hopes.
That goes back to the fantasies.
Kind of go back to that. So some hopes are lively and some hopes are not.
And so with that, I think as we grow in God, our ears are more attuned. Our hearts are more attuned to be able to quickly
discern.
Exactly. And that's the grace we have to have for ourselves and for one another. Because some of us have experienced success, and we've experienced both success in life and success in God, that we have to be careful not to become too haughty in that space to where we look at how other people are struggling with this hope thing, and they're just like, oh yeah, God gonna give me a new car. I'm about to get a new car. And it's like, why don't we hope in becoming a better steward so that when the car comes, we can be able to manage keeping it.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep it managed.
Yeah.
So that's the growth. That's the area I think.
But I think it gets us to another subject from your project, and that's being still.
Oh, Mom,
That was the other
great transition
thing that you gave me.
Yeah.
Was is Instagram acting up again? But anyway, it's on
No,
being
I was
still.
So that's not Instagram.
It's not Instagram, but yeah, it's. I think sometimes we're so busy saying, "I want this, I need this, Lord, I need you to get me out of this. You as a person, I need you to be this. I need you to be that for me. Instead of just being still and listening and just, absorbing things. And I think I found
so stillness blessed you.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
You better listen to it.
I am listening.
He said more than once.
So listen, smart and successful people have a hard time being still,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
oftentimes it's they believe that they're gonna miss something.
Well, or that you have to keep moving all the time. You have to keep making. And what's happening?
But that's because you think you're going to miss something.
Yeah.
That
And
you
then
don't.
you
You
gotta make
only
it happen.
keep doing stuff with the motivation that it's accomplishing something, or you don't want to miss whatever productivity you can get out of it.
Right.
But if God, in his amazing godness,
Right.
can choose to rest, come on, yo.
Yeah.
Be
Clark
still.
not doing that.
And that's
We never, for a long time, we would go to church and all of that, but we went years without taking a real Sabbath.
I'm now I feel so good saying it. In my household, we're now I'm now calling for that. Like, I want to be more intentional with the Sabbath. And I say from sunrise to sunset, on Sundays, we are Sabbathing. We are Sabbathing. Like, I remember going to Israel, and they take it seriously.
Seriously.
That Shabbat Shalom is real.
What do they do? I mean, like, what do they do in terms of Sabbath? Everything closed down, or what?
Everything stops. Everything stops. And we can engage with family. We take time to engage with one another. You take time to assess how you are feeling.
Okay.
I used to be an executive assistant for a lot of folks. And one of them, she's probably one of the most, that Monica Bacon. Remember Monica? Well, don't stop. I had to put in Monica's schedule, chill,
Right.
breathe. And she was like, you know what? That's right. Uh-huh. I'm a chill. And she started embracing the beauty of the chill. Because the chill, listen, coming to America, I say it on, is it stillness where I say, let them wait?
Yes.
That's from Coming to America. When he's talking to his son, I'm talking to my son. You're like, let them wait. Watch how many people will respect your need for pause when you decide to take it.
yes.
No, I
In your
agree.
mind, though, sometimes people will not do motion, but they're moving so much in their head.
Your mama. Your mama be moving. Your mama be moving.
I think also it gets to be a habit sometimes.
Yes.
Young
It used
girl,
to
I
be
was
a
always
habit.
thinking, I used to pride myself on being able to work while I slept. And I realize now that is not good. When you sleep, you're supposed to be asleep.
Good night, my friend.
No, come on, let's bring in.
Good night, my friend. You earned it.
Oh, I love that one too.
That was the
Yes.
best,
That's the one I want to do at night. Good night. My
You better. You
I
better.
need a workbook. I need my workbook. Where's my
He
workbook?
said just play
We're
that.
doing it's going to be a Major Hope activation journal.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna
A
get it.
Major
Now,
Hope
is the project
activation
out?
journal.
Is this project we've been so wonderfully discussing?
Yeah, we got to get going.
More discussions
Yeah.
about this.
I got to go see Tabitha tonight, so we got to close this one up.
But
But
we gotta close.
but
Okay.
listen,
Oh, it's 6:30.
We
Lord have
get to
mercy.
talking and it goes.
but we
goes.
can do that. We can do that. We family now.
Okay. Well, we're gonna let you go. Where can we get this project now?
Everywhere you listen to music, look
Yes.
up Major Hope Motivations.
Yes.
Everywhere. Major Hope Motivations. And I promise you, your life will be blessed. And I think you'll be even more blessed when you decided to share it with somebody else because you got yours.
I think that's the blessing.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I'm a
God
hope
bless.
dealer. I'm a hope
Yeah.
dealer. That's what I do, Doc. I slang this hope.
Brother. Yeah, that help.
Yeah,
And we're
that
gonna
help.
get back with you to check on you and see how
I
it's
really
doing.
appreciate
We
this coming
appreciate you
together,
so
man.
much.
That's some,
We had a
That's-
therapy session.
what they've been
That's
breaking
what
out
it
some
was.
we had is a
jewels, some
therapy
pieces
session.
up in here. There was some good stuff up in here.
I
So
will say this before I go. This is a great starter into your journey to therapy.
Yeah.
This is
Yes,
a great starter into that so that people, because a lot of times they say our community, because we haven't been afforded the space to heal and hope at the same time, this is a perfect starter conditioner to get you postured for that full healing that comes by way of therapy and positive spaces that allow you to process through your issues and your circumstances. Just see the issues as opportunities to become better.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And you're gonna go
Thank
see
you.
Miss Tabitha, the cook, the one.
At Tabitha Brown. Yeah.
Please tell her I said hello. I don't think she even knows me, but I just love her. So I know that's gonna be huge. So we'll see you over there at Miss Tabitha's.
Okay. All right. Love
Thanks
y'all.
so much.
God bless.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, what's
Thank
up?
you so much for watching Carfitable
Yes,
Talks.
thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
Leave some comments. Really need to hear from you.
thank you.